everybody, it's time to LOL. Listen out loud, that is. It's time for Anime Jam Session with DJ Ranma S, Mako-chan, and Ari Rockefeller.
Hey everybody, welcome to Anime Jam Session, episode number 701. Wow, we actually made it that far. I think that this, I think the fact that we've done 700 episodes, I think that deserves a bit of a victory lap. Don't you all agree?
Sure.
All right, let me see if I can find the right one here. This is perfect. Let's see if it'll play. Perfect. I think it works for doing 700 episodes, and so far there has been no physical damage to any member of the staff. Well, at least not yet.
Oh, not from doing
Only
it.
psychological and emotional damage.
Well, that kind of came with the territory. I'm not saying we walk in to do a podcast and then there's a knife flying at one of our skulls.
Well, I live alone, so if a knife is flying on my skull, obviously this place is fucking haunted.
No, Mako-chan is testing out her new toys.
No.
By that little laugh, I'm not too sure about that.
I will keep my sharp, pointy objects to myself, thank you.
That sounded a little creepy. And I'm talking Kathy Bates creepy here.
What?
I didn't say it was a bad thing. We are that podcast. Talks about anime, games, conventions, the fandom, geek stuff, and everything in between. I'm DJ Ranma S.
I'm Ari Rockefeller.
And I am Mako-chan.
And how is everybody doing tonight?
Meh.
Friggin' tired.
I kind of feel it. I kind of feel it. It's been interesting. What can I say? So, anywho, we are live tonight, week of December 2nd, 2025, right here on Twitch TV. Jesus Christ, where did the year go?
Yeah.
We are live here on Tuesdays from 9 to 10:30 p.m. Eastern. You will always find us at Twitch TV/Anime Jam Session. We're also proud to be part of the Voice of Geeks Network at VogNetwork.com, and you can find them at VogNetwork.com. And they're also on Twitch. You can find part of the shows at Twitch TV/VogNetwork. Kicking things off is the Bobby Blackwolf Show at 8 p.m. on Sundays. And then we kind of end the programming schedule Tuesdays at 9 p.m. And come hang out in our Discord, vognetwork.com/Discord. Every show that's part of the Voice of Geeks Network has their own channel, so come through and hang out and have a good time with us. So now that we got that out the way, let's kick things over to Ari and ask him how was his weekend day. So Ari, how was your weekend day?
Mostly work-related stuff. It's been rather arduous the past week, especially with the holidays.
No, I totally get it. I totally do.
And while the holiday pay was good and all, I like this past weekend, I just promised myself that I wouldn't buy any more of those bootleg or knockoff Lego kits. You know what I mean?
But you did.
No. I bought this one a while ago, and over the past week and a half, when I come back from work, I'd have a couple hours work on it. It was a jukebox. Well, it's supposed to be, and it looked nice enough, but the little pieces felt almost like spongy. They were that soft. The instructions were in passable English, not quite English, but someone had to run it through a translator.
Yeah, it sounds like some of the stuff that I buy off Amazon, and it's like it's not this brand.
The description has just a laundry list of words that'll pop up in a search engine, whether it's relevant or not.
Sorta. It's like it looks like it's a no-name brand, but the name of the brand is like is like 5 consonants and 2 vowels thrown in there anywhere, somewhere, you know. And then when you look at the booklet and it's like the smallest font, and you just zoomed all the way in, and you try to figure out how this goes. But then if you
well, it was perfectly legible and all that, but the thing is, like things wouldn't like stick together if I like pushed on it too hard or the wrong way or sneezed too hard or Mercury was in fucking retrograde or whatever, and it got to a point where I was putting on like the top innards of the jukebox that actually had these little like record pieces and like little movable arms. That wasn't the issue. The issue came when I was like trying to set it all together and it just fell apart in my hands for like the 4th time. I'm just like, I can't fucking deal with this anymore. I gotta get rid of this goddamn thing. So I just swept it all up in a trash bag and put the box in there as well and got rid of it. And the real kick in the dick was when I was pushing like the bottom like 2/3, which I already completed, pushing in to close the bag. My hand went right through it, like almost no resistance. I'm like, I definitely got ripped the fuck off over this.
Hey, Mako-chan.
Mm-hmm.
Sound familiar?
Eh.
Well, the brand was called Fantasy, fantasy, but with a P at the front. So I won't be buying from them again. And I was so frustrated because I, pissed away so much time working on it that I ended up doing 2 more builds that very weekend. I built the OG Game Boy, which took me about 2 hours, and it also has little screens for the like for other games. I like the Nintendo word bopping in and the Mario Land, and also has a Zelda cartridge in it. Pops off, you can see the guts for it and all.
Yep.
You got it too, huh?
Yeah,
culture, I see.
Yeah, I pre-ordered it, but I just haven't gotten around to sitting down to assembling it. That's all. So.
Like I said, only about 2 hours or so to put together.
If it was me, I would have taken the instructions for that jukebox, and I would have gone to Lego's website and ordered the actual parts to see if I can assemble it with official pieces or something like that. That's something.
Go on Rebrickable. They have shit like that up there, as well as your own ad hoc sets that you want to build.
See,
that wasn't the only set I built. I also built this. This is the Serene Garden, which took me about 4-ish hours. Which I'm kind of a sucker for like water effects in these builds, so that's why I went for the fountain.
Yeah,
and it's very pretty, isn't it?
Yeah, that is nice.
That is a pretty one.
And the third one that I have that's still downstairs, I guess you would say, that I'm finishing up today is the Fontina di Trevi, which the Trevi Fountain in Rome. And that's like the bottom, like the base of it is like 2/3 water effects, and it's just maybe next time I'll show that off, because that's the nicest one I've built so far.
No, that is nice. I just wish I had the space to do stuff like that, Maybe when I finally move somewhere.
I got these shelves over like up here in the walls, but the camera isn't pointing up at them all the time. So
to be fair, the guy that lived in the room next to me, he had his 65-inch TV mounted on the wall, and he was like, landlord doesn't care. So once I move out, he'll just clean up the holes and all of that. And and I get that to a certain point, because I have like a set of hooks like drilled into my door, and I use a different set of and when I drilled it through, I didn't realize that it went all the way to the other side, so I kind of had to pull the screws back and kind of make it look nice and neat, like you can't tell. But I'm just saying, I totally get that. I could put shelving up, but I'm just like, I just don't want to deal with that shit. I just don't.
And if and when you move out, you'd have to either leave it there and lose the money, or spend more time taking it down and bringing it with you.
Yeah, and it's like the guy that was in here before, he had like the 3M Velcro strips, and I'm just like, yeah, you can see that they really did work. Not for nothing. If I had a can, like a small can of paint that matched the
The
walls,
color of the walls.
yeah, I would do the Velcro 3M thing, rip it off, and just paint over it and call it a damn day. But I'm not
Hmm.
trying to deal with all of that. I mean, if I put up shelving in here, this place will look a lot more cramped as it is. It looked like one of those micro apartments you see on YouTube and shit like that. Flip up the
At the
bed.
very least, I also got paid this week, and the pay for my previous holidays with Election Day and whatnot.
Nice.
That definitely helped. I'm also compiling a list of who I'm going to buy, like who I'm exchanging Christmas gifts with this year.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I know who to buy for and not to overextend myself.
I do that I try, I'm just like, okay, there's X amount of people. I'm just doing it like this, kind of readjust the finances, done. So I don't know if I'm doing gifts this year. I do know that I am doing cards. So if anything, if some people don't get stuff in December, they'll get something in January. They complain, they won't see a dime from me ever again. Mako-chan, how was your week? How was your day?
Okay, I guess.
Yeah.
Did the whole Thanksgiving thing.
Mm-hmm.
Then did the whole bar thing. Did the whole having to work on Black Friday thing.
Oh, poor you.
I
Well, at
haven't
least
had
you
to
didn't
do
have
that
to.
in 7 years.
At least you didn't have to deal with customers, right?
No, I just haven't had to actually work on a Black Friday in 7 years.
But
So
but it's not like you had to leave the house though.
no, I know. It's just it's my thing. I have not had to work Black Friday in 7 years.
It's a strange and foreign thing to you now.
And then it made me realize that I'm going to have to work the Friday after Christmas and the Friday after New Year's. And that just made me really sad. But yeah, I mean, other than that, that's really it. I found out that my mother and her girlfriend, more her girlfriend than anything, decided to buy me a new dishwasher for the house
Nice.
Well, that was nice of her.
because it needed to, like, mine wasn't working right. It wasn't cleaning. It wasn't doing anything. I have a feeling it's probably as old as the house is, or pretty damn close. Which the house was built in the 70s, so that gives you some sort of idea of how old this thing may be. So yeah, so that is Christmas and birthday.
It's like the Christmas and birthday gift you didn't want but can still use.
Pretty
that you
much.
really need.
Yeah, yeah. That's the last couple of years since I've moved into having my own home. That's basically what my Christmas and birthday gifts have been. Just things for the house. So I'm very thankful for it.
Gives new meaning to 2-for-1 specials.
Yeah, it does kind of suck that my birthday is so close to Christmas. So they can say, oh, hey, we're just going to get you this big thing and make it your birthday and your Christmas. They're both, so close together. Thanks.
Well, maybe next year you can convince your parents to get you a Switch 2 and tell them how it's a very versatile and pertinent thing for the house.
Yeah, no, I don't think that's gonna go over so well.
True. Could be like, well, it's perfect for, for your for your back area for the summertime, or something like that.
Yeah, sure. A handheld gaming console is great for the backyard.
Or for entertaining company.
Well, yeah, that's still not something that you would have in the backyard.
Well, I meant in the back area where everybody says, I forget what you call that area.
The sunroom?
Yes, the sunroom. Yes.
Where my bar and lounge will eventually be?
Yes. Because I mean, there are bars that actually have Switch consoles behind it. You leave your ID or your driver's license. You get a Joy-Con to play the game, and you turn it back, and you get your ID back. You know.
Yeah, that's kind of why they bought me the TV that I have, though.
True. We just need a sign to put back there and call it Mako-chan's Nerd Parlor.
No, it's gonna be called the Loki's Den. But yeah, so for this week, you get to see Sammy here. That is his name. It actually has his name. So he is legit named Sammy. This is, yes, it is supernatural related.
Really?
But
I
it
couldn't
is
tell.
also
Really? I couldn't tell.
yeah. But it is also AKF related, which is the Always Keep Fighting Foundation that Jared Padalecki started for mental health and those that struggle with mental health. So when anything really drops for that, I do tend to pick something up because I know that all the proceeds are going to the organization directly. And they do help out a lot of people that have mental health issues. They end up giving money to other organizations that help out with mental health issues. So it is one of those charities that I do tend to actually give to.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And is it crazy? I know when you said Sammy, the first thing that came to mind was Sammy Hagar. I don't know why, but it did.
Yeah, I don't know either.
That would be more his brother's thing, but yeah, sure.
It just came. I don't know why, but it just did. Oh man! And for some reason, the feed is at 720p instead of 1080p. Oh well, I'll deal with it later. Anywho, so my weekend day has been the same. So even though I work from home, one of the benefits from work is I only work 2 days a week. So Wednesday was just me sleeping in and catching up with some anime, and I decided to get back onto the Togen Anki arc. I'm slowly catching up with that. Let's see, what else have I watched? I've been keeping up with May I Ask for One Final Thing, which is really good. I was caught up with Tales of Wedding Rings. I think I'm like 1 or 2 episodes behind on that. I think I'm a couple episodes behind on Gachikuta and caught up with Ranma, but that's a given. Let's see. I've been following, some J dramas. I've been following The Pride of the Temp. I've been watching it. That's been really good. And the thing is, I didn't realize. I thought they filmed both seasons right behind each other, and then they just gave the actors and actresses like makeup to make them look older. I didn't realize season 1 was filmed in 2007 and season 2 was filmed in 2020. I was like, oh, it was like that, and I don't know, I was just quite impressed by that. So there was that. That's basically has been my weekend day, and after doing this show, I'm going to edit and then probably watch the last 2 episodes of The Pride of the Temp and focus on something else. So, and then I realize I have so much to do video wise and photo wise before the end of the year. So my goal is before the end of the year, all of the photos are posted, all of my photo shoots are posted, all of the videos I filmed over the last couple of years at conventions are finally posted for everybody to see. So slowly getting there when you're a one-man band, but at least with one person, there's going to be some good quality behind it. So that's how it is for me. So now that we got that out the way, we get into some housekeeping here. Um, Episodes of Anime Jam Session are available on our YouTube page, video, the VOD versions. They are available Thursdays at 12 noon. And as a reminder, if you don't see the episode up, that means something happened and it will be up later that day, so no need to worry. I will always get that taken care of. Let's see what else do we have here. No cons. We're done with the 2025 con season. You won't hear us hawking conventions to like late January, early February. And if you know us pretty well, you know which will be the first one. So there is that. Mm-hmm. And the Anime Jam Session Christmas Special. It's in 2 weeks. And as you know, when we do our Christmas special, we're off for about 3 weeks to kind of rest, relax, and recharge before we can get things going for 2026. It is December 16th. I am hoping to have the entire squad here so we can we'll probably talk like Christmas anime news if there is any, just chill and relax and have like a bit of a party and stuff like that. We'll see about opening a Discord line if you want to call in with questions or if you want to post questions or something like that. We'll figure something out one way or another. Now that we got that out the way, let's get into tonight's stories. I will kick things off with this chaos of political tension, and I'm just like, what in the fresh far fuck is going on here, you know? So I've been following this on my personal feed here and there for the last couple of days, like what's been going on. And for those of you who don't know, Japanese Prime Minister Sene Takeuchi said something about defending Taiwan if China came to start shit. And China's like, nah, y'all's out of pocket for that. And since that, China has been telling their residents, their people, to stop supporting Japan any way means possible. Stop doing touristy things, stop going to visit, this and that. Just stop all of that. And it's been happening. Some have said that the number of Chinese tourists not coming in has affected the financial bottoms for a lot of companies. Some are saying that's not really true. I have been seeing photos of touristy areas. It's not as crowded, but I think everything's going to be kind of sort of good. But here's the story of what happened in China when all this is going down, and China's being kind of petty about it. And in a way, I kind of understand. So what has happened is several Japanese music artists and themed events have their concerts and events canceled in the last 24 hours because of what I just recently discussed. The anime music magazine Lisani has canceled its live Shanghai 2025 concert, which was slated for Saturday and Sunday. This was this past weekend. Artists slated to perform were Kotoko, She Is Legend, Minori Chihara, Halka, Flipside, Miho Okashi, Sajo Nohana, Konomi Suzuki, and Ami Meishima. Lisani explained the event was canceled due to a force majeure, a term in contracts that refer to when circumstances beyond parties' control force the parties into being unable to fulfill their contractual obligations. Now, this is not the first time we've mentioned force majeure on this program. If you remember about 5 years back when we were discussing what's going on with COVID, and a lot of conventions said force majeure to get out of the contracts because nobody was going anywhere. We were in lockdown and made no point. But, let's bring it back to this. So the company has apologized and they will refund all the tickets within 30 days. Banco had their 2025 festival, which was also held in Shanghai this past weekend, canceled all stage performances. Momoro Kloiverzi, Regalili, Maki Otsuki, Ashita Hiro, and other acts were going to perform, but they did not. Maki Otsuki reported on Twitter that her performance was abruptly interrupted mid-song and canceled to unavoidable circumstances on Friday. And that was the thing I had seen. People from like the Chinese offices, I forget what it was, actually got up on stage and said, no, this is done. you're done. And I thought that was really disrespectful. So let's see. Ayumi Hamasaki, she also canceled. But what she did though, she did her concert to an empty stadium and recorded the whole thing. So there will be a Blu-ray and DVD available of that concert, which is that was really nice for her to do. Sid canceled their concert in Shanghai on Friday and in Beijing on Sunday. And if you also heard throughout the grapevine, the Sailor Moon, Pretty Guardian Sailor Moon, the Super Live, where they're going to do performances in China, that was also canceled as well. So, as you can see, there's no love lost here. Chinese diplomatic officials have since condemned the comment, while the Chinese Foreign Ministry has since urged Chinese nationals to refrain from traveling to Japan, like I said earlier at the top of the show. Chinese airlines began offering free flight refunds for flights going to and from Japan earlier this month. Travelers from China and Hong Kong represent the largest number of travelers from any region or country to Japan yearly, with 7.5 million travelers going to Japan from China from January to September this year. Chinese media outlets reported earlier this month that Chinese openings of the Iga Crayon Shinchan Cho Kare, Shakunetsu no Kasakabe dancers, and live-action Cells at Work films have been delayed from their respective openings of December 6th and 22nd, with no new release dates announced just yet. You know, I get it. I understand it. I just feel like China is being a bitch.
What else is new?
I mean, they basically said they took their ball and went home, and they're like, we're like, bye. All because they got up in arms over Taiwan because they believe Taiwan is still part of China. Just let that shit go. You know, but pride goeth the fall, albeit for me. And speaking of things being canceled and more chaos, looks like Amazon's taking a spanking and stuff. Mako, can you do a deep dive on that?
Yeah, so Amazon decided that they were going to license banana fish.
Mm-hmm.
And they decided that they were going to dub banana fish.
Mm-hmm.
Now, banana fish is probably one of the most popular LGBTQ type series for a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people have been begging for an English release of this series. So a lot of people were very happy that Amazon was going to have it until they decided that they were going to AI dub the anime Banana Fish.
And from what I heard, it sounded like there was no emotion behind it. Not surprised.
Yeah, it was completely emotionless. It was as if computers were talking to one another. This has been done on the Spanish version of a lot of Amazon anime. And Brazil has been up in arms about this. However, it seems that a lot of popular voice actors for various things, including a voice actor that has worked extensively with Amazon, decided that they were going to basically call Amazon out.
Mm-hmm.
So Damon Mills, who has worked on Dragon Ball Super, has worked on rebuild of Evangelion, has worked on One Piece, has done double duty in front of and behind of the mic. He got on Twitter and basically said, after years of fans hoping for an English dub of Banana Fish, you give it to us as AI generated garbage. It's disrespectful as hell. was a queer trauma narrative handed to a machine because paying real actors is too hard. Fix this, or I personally will not work with you as an actor ever again on any of your dubs. And again, he has done quite a few.
Yep.
He got 100 separate credits to his name as of right now. And again, he has worked on some of the Amazon anime series. He is not the only one that has come out. But given that he is an LGBTQ plus voice actor,
Yep.
He's going to have a lot to say about
Exactly.
right. It's a series that is, very close to what, he should be representing. So, yeah, again, he is not the only one. There have been plenty of other voice actors that have gone up against AI, especially with what Amazon has been doing, including Johnny Young Bosch.
Mm-hmm. I was just on somebody's page about this, and I had mentioned something. I'll have to look. I have to check my chat history. But keep going. Keep going.
But yeah, so Amazon decided that they were quietly going to remove the AI English dubs for Banana Fish, No Game, and No Life Zero, which were the 3 anime that they decided to attempt to.
It was Vinland Saga. That was the third one.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is now gone. The AI Spanish dub is still up, but the English dubs for the AI, those 3 anime, are gone. So
it was very much the anime community collectively going, "Yo, they're cooking your ass in the retweets, buddy."
I mean,
yeah, pretty much.
I mean, this is one of those times where you can actually say the fans pushed back. Because some will say, oh, they just did it just because. No, the fans pushed back. Remember when Sonic the Hedgehog, the movie, came out and everybody...
Yeah, that god-awful humanoid
everybody
Sonic
they got their pitchforks and their shotguns, and Paramount's like, we hear you. We hear you. We're going to work on it. And they did. We got something better. And that was perfect,
Oh, goddamn, it's windy out tonight.
I missed all the bad weather. It was raining, but when I actually left the house to do some stuff, it really didn't rain. So
Yeah, my thing is, if a company does not want to spend money to dub a series, then just
with actual voice actors,
right? Then just don't fucking dub it.
Now,
subtitle, don't dub it.
Here's my thing. I thought you would think that it would have been cheaper for Amazon to license the whole series because the dub is there. Evidently, that was not the case, which is why they went back to redub it. And my thing was, Vinland Saga just came out a couple of years ago. How the fuck you gonna sit here and redub it? And it has 2 different dubs. There is the Netflix version, and then there's the high dive version, which is Sentai Filmworks. I think the difference is the Sentai Filmworks one has better pronunciations or something like that. So that's the only thing that I could think of. But there is a difference, And as Nemesis47 says in our chat here at twitch.tv/animejamsession, AI has no place in anime dubs. Hire more actors and give them more work. That's totally disrespectful towards our favorite voice actors. And I have to agree with that. And I mean, let's be real here. If you spent $500 to get the license to this series, but you're spending a couple of $1,000 to have
for damage control.
No. You're spending a few $1,000s on a bunch of servers to voice it, when that same money could go to actual voice actors.
And you wouldn't get cooked by the audience.
That too. I'm just like, it breaks even. And so, and the only argument I can say is it's an in-house thing. Sometimes in-house shit doesn't work. Honestly, I think it would have been cheaper if Amazon just licensed the series with the dub, put it on there, and just called it a day. Because that's basically what they did with Ghost Stories.
It would have been much easier and less embarrassing for them.
Yeah, because I think Ghost Stories is one that Crunchyroll had, and I saw it pop up on Prime, and I don't think you need to connect to Crunchyroll to watch it. There's a couple of titles that are popping up like that, complete with the dub and everything, you know? So...
I mean, everyone's pointing and laughing. No one's coming to the defense of this poor multi-billion-dollar company. Well, except for the biggest AI chuds out there.
And half of those AI chuds are seeing what they fucked around and found out. Bond006 says, Amazon did not want that smoke. You're right about that. It's just that I think Amazon kind of expected some type of pushback, but they weren't
just not this much.
Right. This is what they were not expecting.
They were expecting it to just blow it over and ignore it, but they couldn't.
Yeah, this is something you're like, well, we can't explain this, so I mean, hell, at least with Crunchyroll, you got some kind of explanation about some of the stuff that they do. Amazon just like picked up the rug and swept it underneath, put the rug down, patted it, and walked about and just started innocently whistling. And the sad part is that was the best way to do it too, because speak no evil, hear no evil. Anywho, moving right along to our next story. Ari, tell us about the Shonen Jump pop-up shop.
Let's see. Viz Media is opening a Shonen Jump pop-up shop in the American Dream Mall in New Jersey on November 21st. It'll be operational through January 20th and is imported merchandise from the following anime and manga franchises. One Piece, Sakamoto Days, Blue Box, Kagurabachi, Hunter x Hunter, Dragon Ball, JoJo, Naruto, Bleach, Gintama, Haikyuu, My Hero Academia, Demon Slayer, Kimetsu no Yaiba, Jujutsu Kaisen, Prince of Tennis 2, and Kaiju number 8. And the pop-up will be open from 11 to 9 p.m. Monday through Thursday, sorry. 11 to 10 p.m. Friday through Saturday, and 11 to 7 p.m. on Sunday, which I can presume are the hours for the mall.
Yes.
Yeah.
They
could have just said the mall, like the store will be open during mall hours and just save some time, but whatever. It's located at the American Dream Mall, Court A, near H Mart and the Lego store in East Rutherford.
Now, when I first heard about this, I thought it was kind of cool because this is not the first time we've had something like this happen in the aspect of like a Japanese store in the US. Like, for those of you who don't know, there is a chain of retail stores in Japan that are called the Shonen Jump shops. The only difference, I think, is the fact that I think the shelves are black, but not white. But they basically look identical to each other. Like, for example, you have the Tamashii Nation store. The layout you see, when you go into a Tamashii Nation store here in the US, the layout is just like the ones in Japan. If you've ever been to the Bandai Namco Cross store in Brooklyn, the layout is similar to their Japanese counterparts. As for Shonen Jump Shop, the layout is basically identical, so there is that. So I like that. I like the fact that they're not really trying to cater to an American style audience. It's more like, this is how it worked for us in Japan. We're gonna show it to you just like how it is there. So I'm about that. And yeah, I will have to make my way over there and definitely check it out. It kind of runs me to one time when when they had a bunch of Tim Horton coffee shops here like 10, 15 years ago, and I showed up to one. They had their PR team at one of the locations, and I show up with this mug. They're like, "Oh, where did you get this?" And I'm like, "Oh, I got this from your Niagara Falls location." And they were just kind of oohing and eyeing over it. I was just like, not expecting that, but still cool nonetheless. So, anywho, let's move on to our next story here.
I'm gonna have to clock out for now because I have to go into work at 2 a.m. to help cover half of somebody's shift.
So you got to go get prepped and all that good stuff. I
need to at least get some sleep because I'm on the verge of being up for a day and a half straight, and I think I'd rather just drink a vodka and Tylenol cocktail and go through that willingly.
Damn, son. Go on, go get some sleep.
All right, good night, guys.
All right, you take care, man.
Good night, chat.
They all say goodnight back. So now there was only 2. All right, let me go ahead and let me get back on track here. We're going to talk about one of my favorite J-hip-hop groups, m-flo. I've been kind of following them off and on for like the last 20 or so years. Sometimes you'll always find me listening to one of their tracks here and there. So, anywho, it seems that they're kind of holding off on some stuff. They announced on last Friday that they will not be putting out any new work or performing at any live events after their February 19th performance at the Tokyo Garden Theater, as they will be taking a liminal period. The group stated that they will not be active publicly for some time in order to search for new sounds, new encounters, and new inspirations to prepare ourselves for the next stage ahead. The year 2025 is the group's 25th anniversary. Their 10th and latest album, Superliminal, will launch on February 18th. Oh, I cannot wait for that. The group began when friends Verbal and Taku Takahashi, and for those of you who've already heard the name Taku Takahashi before, he has worked on the soundtracks for Panty and Stocking, which is another reason why I love the soundtracks. So, let's get back to this story here. We met singer Lisa and launched the group in 1998. Since then, they have released 9 studio albums. The group produced 6 of those after Lisa's departure in 2002. Yes, that same Lisa that we've talked about on the show before. But before the group reunited with her in December 2017. AX hosted m-flo's first performance in July 2018. The Oda Quest live concert also hosted m-flo at the Novo by Microsoft in LA in July of 2019. Anime Boston hosted the group for a performance in April 2020. Got that in right before the lockdown. m-flo performed their 8th ending theme for the Black Clover anime and the 2nd opening theme to the 2003 Astro Boy anime. The group also provided music for the Amazing Nuts anime and Appleseed Ex Machina film. More recently, the group composed music for and performed the ending theme song for the new Panty and Stocking with Garter Belt anime. They won't really say m-flo, but they'll just say Taku Takahashi. It's one and the same anyway, so I am going to have to get my hands on their albums, and I know what I'm probably do next time when I go back to Japan next year, I'm going to see about going to Nakano Broadway, because they have a store there that's exclusively like CDs and all that, and I'm going to go through them and see if I can find their older albums, because yes, I have them digitally, but when you're a fan of various artists, you also want physical copies of their works as well. So hell, I just found out that there were vinyls of Ranma One Half. There's one person, one of the groups I'm in, took him several years, but tracked down the vinyls of the singles. I was just like, holy shit, you know? Maybe that'll give me something to do when I go back. Maybe if I'm lucky, they'll put some stuff out on vinyl, because anime vinyls are starting to make a comeback, so kind of looking forward to that. And yes, Bond 006, they did work on Appleseed. They worked on the anime Appleseed Ex Machina. So the music for that movie. So if you like the music from it, now you know who did it. So, all right. Now we're going to talk more about Super Sentai ending and so forth. This is something we've kind of discussed here on the show, here and there, but Mako's going to give us a little bit more detailing about that.
Yeah, so this is actually the response from a senior executive director at Toei. So this is an interview that Shinichiro Shirakura, who is also the head producer of character business at Toei, explains what is going on with the Super Sentai franchise. So he emphasized that he thinks the franchise, which spawned the Power Rangers franchise overseas, will return, but he thinks a decade-long hiatus would be good for the franchise. He also explained that the limits of the Super Sentai concept had become apparent, despite the staff incorporating various ideas and in attempts to go beyond those limits. Thus, upon reaching the half-century mark, it became clear to the staff that they had to fundamentally rethink the franchise. The producer said the franchise faced two major challenges, which he described as black ships, in reference to the Western ships that forced formerly isolationist Japan to rethink its place in the world. The first black ship was the advent of the streaming era, spurred by COVID-19. Thanks to streaming, viewers can choose from the entire catalog of both new and old shows, not just Sentai, but also Kamen Rider and other live-action special effects or
Take your time, fam.
yeah. Thus, new shows found themselves competing with their own predecessors, especially highly acclaimed ones for viewership. Viewers did not know where to start watching since the different entries have few ties between them. The second black ship was the huge American comic hero wave. He noted that Marvel's Avengers has been particularly popular in Japan. He also said Marvel presents the characters from Captain America to Iron Man from different works in one unified package. By contrast, Super Sentai thus far would largely reset the story every year, aside from limited spin-off projects and crossover films, which impeded character development. Asahi noted the paradox that, quote-unquote, everyone in Japan knows Sentai, even though they are mostly unfamiliar with the stories from year to year. Shirakura responded that the franchise's fundamental problem is that by lasting a half-century, it has become run-of-the-mill. The producer observed that for many people in Japan, hearing the word Sentai conjures the image of 5 heroes in colored suits. On one hand, generations have treated the franchise as comfort viewing that does not change. On the other hand, that perception that it does not change leads to people thinking it's not must-see TV. That leads people to stop watching new episodes every week or watch the old shows for nostalgia instead. As a result, Shirakura thinks his generation should step away from the franchise and a new generation should conceive a new Sentai. Therefore, he thinks the franchise must take 10 years off before reviving. He observed that he joined Toei in 1990. When the company was planning the 1992 series, the staff back then thought that it might actually be the final Sentai entry. So the younger staffers wanted to try something different and introduced a sixth regular member mid-story for the first time in the franchise. He mused that Zero Ranger became the loose basis for the global phenomenon Power Rangers, and that being divine intervention that led to Super Sentai lasting another 3 decades. The person that did the interview observed that even Kamen Rider and Ultraman had hiatuses, whereas only Super Sentai among the franchises has had a nearly continuous half-century broadcast run. It was dryly noted that Super Sentai's success defies reason. Its origin was a fluke, born from a failed attempt to make a project with 5 common writers assembling to fight together. That failure led to the creation and development of Himutsu Sentai Goranger, which was the first Super Sentai show. The franchise only added giant robots after the once popular giant robot anime shows ended their continuous broadcast run in the 1970s. The third, or first, depending on who is counting, Super Sentai show, Battle Fever J, took over the Tosho Daimo's robot anime's time slot after it was cut short. Was concluded the interview by saying, "It is time for a change in hero shows, especially Super Space Sheriff Gavin Infinity."
And that they crossed that over with Gokaiger briefly, which was pretty cool. Bonzo06 says, "Law and Order would like to talk to you, sir." Okay. Here's the difference between Super Sentai and Law and Order. You still have basically the same squad for like 20 something seasons full of character development and so forth. Whereas with Super Sentai, character development happens within a year and that's it. Unless what they did, what Saban did with Power Rangers by just, oh, we're going to take this series, rip this out and put it in, keep the same characters and continue to develop and so forth. Something along those lines. So there is that.
Yeah, it's not. It's more like Precure, where each series is its own separate kind of thing, like Final Fantasy. Each game, each series is its own world, its own creation, its own characters. And after that 52 episodes plus a movie, that's it. They're done, they're gone. You mostly never see them again. So people don't really get attached to them. The outfits, yes, they have similarities, but what they are changing into, what the battle robots are, that all changes, but the concept stays the same.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I can say from when I was watching Super Sentai, in those 52 episodes, they put in some decent character development and plot development, which was really good. But I would say when it comes back and they do a new Super Sentai series, maybe it should go for a couple of years or something like that, kind of spread it out and then see them passing the torch to somebody new here and there before, okay, we've done this for 3 years, we can wrap it up, move on to something else.
Yeah, you just extend it a little bit. I think the other thing that they could do would be, instead of fully switching over, because it's like the whole thing is, yes, they're, each one of them, they're after the big bad, whatever happens to be coming from outer space, or, happens to be demons or whatever. A lot of it, I think, also is because it's not a consistent feel. Like one season will be extremely campy, and the next season won't.
Right. Like Go Onger. Go Onger was campy as fuck until the last 5 or 6 episodes, and you're just like, I didn't sign up for this. What is this? This shit got dark in a heartbeat, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I think that is an issue because if you want to, I mean, yes, it's a good thing to mix it up a little bit, but certain people like campy, certain people like serious, and this is supposed to be a kids show. So you don't want to get too serious because then the kids aren't really gonna be into it.
It's sort of like, it's for the kids, but you see the adults buying the merch. Oh,
Well,
your kids are going to love that. Yeah, sure
yeah,
they are.
yeah. What about Doctor Who?
Doctor Who was originally supposed to be a children's show about history.
Yeah. And then it becomes, a love triangle for some screwed up reason.
Goddamn Ninth Doctor. Or was it the 10th? I think it was the 10th.
9th, 10th, 11th, 12th.
12th.
And then really, I haven't watched the 13th or 14th, so.
Wait. Capaldi was 12th, right?
Yeah.
I don't remember any love triangles in that. Maybe I was too happy that the 12th Doctor was a cold curmudgeon as fuck. I don't know.
Well, I mean,
He reminded me too much of the 4th, you know?
He went a little crazy when his companion decided that she wanted a boyfriend, and then the boyfriend went a little bit crazy because she decided she wanted to, keep traveling with the Doctor. Yeah, I didn't like Clara.
I didn't like her either.
At least not with the 12th. I think she worked well with the 11th. I absolutely despised Clara during the 12th's run.
Yeah, she kind of rubbed me the wrong way.
But yeah, that was a triangle. It wasn't the Doctor as the center of the triangle. It was Clara because it was the Clara show at that point.
Which is why I didn't bother with the 10th, because the whole Rory shit. Oh, nope. I'm out.
Nope, that's the 11th.
11th? Okay, yeah. I was like, nope. I'm out. Screw that. And then when I found out that the new Doctor was Peter Capaldi, I had no idea who he was. And he was this older gentleman, and the girls were getting upset that the next Doctor was a young and hot. I was just like, with my size 10s, get going, get lost. It's okay, y'all can go. Make room for the old Gen Xers like me that like the old curmudgeonous Doctor. Thank you very much.
But yeah, so I mean, they completely switched to try and get, because again, Doctor Who was slated to end. It was not doing well. So they, brought it back for an older audience.
And as Bond 006 says, so Supernatural was not about supernatural things.
Please be sarcasm. I don't, thank you.
I'm just saying, if she rolls up at your house within the Impala, don't answer the door. That's all I'm going to say. Don't answer the door. I will say,
just because I could potentially come to New York with certain supernatural based weaponry does not mean that I would come to New York to have a chat with you.
Well, you just said I don't need you to come to New York to have a chat with me. I think you scared him.
Nah. I'm too lazy to go into New York to have a chat with anybody.
You're just too lazy in general. Shit.
Well, yeah.
I will say I'm kind of glad they explained this a lot better because I kept saying they're still doing Super Sentai. They're rebranding it as something with a new name and going with a different direction. This makes a little bit more sense. I don't think it should be 10 years since we see another Super Sentai series, though. Some time off would be great, yes. So I think there was a year that there wasn't a Super Sentai series because that was a year they did PGSM, or there was Super Sentai that year, but there was no Kamen Rider or something, or they put it at a different time at some because I remember it was like at the 7 a.m. time slot. Maybe it was a Sunday. I don't know. I don't
Well,
know.
it might have been when Kamen Rider was on one of its breaks
Oh
because
yeah,
Kamen Rider has a couple of breaks,
yeah.
which I think is a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have a break, really sit down and think about what still works with Sentai.
Because
What
it's not for nothing. I think we've had 5 Super Sentai series that revolved around dinosaurs. I'm just saying. And I think
Well, I mean, it's not even just that. It's how many Super Sentai can you really have that are about animals or that are about aliens or that are about, demons from the past coming back after being trapped for thousands of years. They need to sit down. They need to really think about what works, what doesn't work, what modern takes from other series,
mm-hmm,
from other popular series, from upcoming series would work in a Sentai environment.
mm-hmm.
Maybe it's that big mecha don't need to be in them anymore. Maybe explosions and, you know, posing doesn't need to be in there
Or
anymore.
you keep the giant robots, but not every episode needs a giant robot.
Yeah, because I mean,
It's to go back. I was talking to Lady Alcrea about this back during Sailor Moon Crystal season 3, and no. We were talking about the Eternal movie, and I was like, I still wanted it to be a TV series, animated series, not a movie. And she was breaking it down like it would take too long because every episode they'd have to transform and this and that. And I said, not necessarily. Maybe at the beginning of the episode they're in their senshi form, but it carries over to the next episode. Let it keep going that way. Every episode you don't need to be transforming every time. Let the episode be a continuation. I mean, like, it worked for Dragon Ball Z, it worked for My Hero Academia. There are these animes out there where their battle sequences go multiple episodes. Sailor Moon doesn't need to be 5 episodes to take out Beryl, but 2 episodes would be fine. Starts up here, climatic here, wraps up in the second episode, and you call it. Yeah, they did that in the original anime per se, but with the reboot of Crystal, you still could have done something like that. You could just spread it out. You don't need a monster of the day for every episode. Maybe every other episode or something like that. And Bonzo 6 says Dragon Ball Z sits on that throne in Bleach. Yeah.
I mean, you've got Magical Girl series
Mm-hmm.
where every episode they transform. But with Sentai, you have them transform, then them call on their mecha,
Mm-hmm.
and then the mecha transform into a giant robot. It's the whole episode is just them switching into more powerful costumes. So maybe some of that needs to be cut away.
Yeah, I mean, that's what I'm saying. Like, again, keep the giant robots, but you don't need the giant robots in every single episode. Uh, Hopefully they'll figure something out. And while they do that, I am going to discuss our last article of the night. Um, Dragon Ball Z and KFC. That is an interesting combination. Very interesting. Worlds collide in an exciting collaboration between Dragon Ball Z and Kentucky Fried Chicken. They are collaborating with the anime for an exciting new release narrated by the official voice of Goku. KFC Italy is officially collaborating with the anime for a tasty new meal based on the world-renowned franchise. Claudio Moneta, Goku's official Italian voice actor, narrated the first ad for the exciting anime collaboration with the international fast food restaurant. Well, narrate isn't exactly the right word here. He delivered a Kamehameha-inspired yell, while KFC's exclusive DBZ menu was deliciously displayed. Yes, sayings like our fried chicken too, KFC Italia said on its official TikTok account. The Dragon Ball KFC menu includes the classic bucket of chicken as well as chicken burgers available in teriyaki or spicy teriyaki flavors. Of course, what really makes this meal feel like a DBZ meal is the order of the cheese balls that resembles the series' wish-granting Dragon Balls. The latest Dragon Ball anime collab with KFC is far from the first famous Southern fried chicken food chain. In the past, KFC has collaborated with Mobile Suit Gundam, Pokemon, Attack on Titan, Spy Family, and Demon Slayer. The American fast food restaurant even collaborated with Genshin Impact for an anime short that transformed Colonel Sanders into a hip Bishonen character. I remember that one. Dragon Ball has also been involved in numerous fast food collabs, including KFC in Japan. Just this year, they collaborated with McDonald's Malaysia for a special meal inspired by the recent anime release Dragon Ball Daima, which is currently available on streaming platforms such as Crunchyroll, Hulu, and Netflix. The Akira Toriyama series also partnered with Quick, a French fast food chain, for a line of 4-star burgers. The anime-themed burgers include the beef and crispy cheese teriyaki burger, the original teriyaki beef burger, the sriracha chicken burger, and the burger sriracha chicken and crispy cheese. The Dragon Ball anime franchise is available on Crunchyroll. Previous chapters of the Super manga, written by the late Toriyama, with artwork by Toyotaru, are available on Viz Media and Manga Plus apps. Having defeated Boo, Goku is starting to get bored with his life on Earth. The series' official description reads, his wife Chi-Chi wants him to get a job, but he only wants to train and fight stronger enemies. Elsewhere in the universe, the god of destruction, Beerus, and his attendant Wiz travel from planet to planet in search of food and entertainment. After blowing up some hapless victims, Beerus is reminded of a man from his dreams with the monk here, Super Saiyan God, or something like that. The god of destruction sets his sights on Earth to track down this mysterious man. Maybe this will give Goku something to do. It kind of reminds me of that one fan art where Gohan comes downstairs and it shows Goku in front of a laptop and he's doing taxes and he says, "Don't tell your mom I know how to do this." That is wild. But I think people forget Goku is actually a farmer, so at least, he got some type of a job. But burgers based on a different Dragon Ball. I kind of like that. Cheese. I like that. All right. Enough about that. We're gonna get into strange news from Japan, and then we're going to call it a night. I've already called dibs on the article that I want. So, which one do you want?
I'm gonna actually take the first one.
I can see that. I can definitely see that. Take it away, Mako.
Yeah, so we were earlier talking about AI, and here is a very dangerous use of AI.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so obviously AI does have its uses. If you have ever wanted to see something weird in order to visualize what it would actually look like, you can do that. There are plenty of AI images out there that have done some really weird and twisted things. However, sometimes AI doesn't work very well, especially when certain things look very similar, like mushrooms. So on the 3rd of November, in Nara Prefecture, a man in his 70s was out gathering wild mushrooms and found some that resembled either shiitake or oyster mushrooms. The next day, he tried to show them to a local botanical garden to verify what kind they were and whether they were edible or not, but the staff was unavailable. Unwilling to wait, he instead took a photo of them with his smartphone and uploaded it to an AI, which agreed with his theory by saying they're either shiitake or oyster mushrooms and are edible. Satisfied with the ID, the man grilled the mushrooms and ate them. And about 30 minutes later, the vomiting started and he was hospitalized. Fortunately, the symptoms were only temporary and he could make a full recovery. Subsequent analysis by the Wakayama Prefectural Museum of Natural History and the City Public Health Division determined that the mushrooms were Tsukuyotake, which is a poisonous species, often confused for edible ones. One way to spot the poisonous mushroom is by the presence of a raised band around the stem just under the gills. They are also known to have very dark spots on the inside, but not always, and they remain poisonous even when cooked. But despite that information, the Public Health Division strongly advises against self-identifying mushrooms even when using illustrated guides or AI. Always get your mushrooms checked by a trained professional, if for no other reason than to have someone liable in case of poisoning. Perhaps the hospitalized man could blame the AI for its misdiagnosis, but he himself bears at least part of the blame. Even the AI wasn't sure if it was a shiitake or oyster mushroom. So why would he have trusted its judgment? AI is only as good as its user. There have been cases of edible mushrooms becoming poisonous too. You should always buy mass-produced mushrooms because if they are poisonous, someone would probably get sick before you.
Yep.
Shiitake and oyster mushrooms don't even look similar. The golden rule is if you don't know, don't eat. So, although it can be fun to go in the wilderness and gather your own food, anyone who does it really should know their stuff on an expert level before attempting it. Otherwise, just leave the food there for the critters that are, supposed to be eating them and help maintain their food supplies. So, yeah.
It's a circle of life. All right. Now, this story is something right up my alley, and it's also kind of reminiscing of what's happening here in New York City with our subway and our turnstiles and all of that, the changes and so forth. But in this case, it's more like, would you like to buy a fare gate? So that's would-be scrap, it's going to be someone else's treasure. Sometimes when a train's being taken out of service in Japan, the rail operator will sell off parts of it as memorabilia. Well, they did it here with MTA with the strap hanger hooks. For rail fans, owning even something simple like a hand strap or a destination plate can serve as a keepsake of a special trip they took on the train, or be a symbol of their local pride if it comes from the train they commuted on every morning. But Sotetsu, also known as the Sagami Railway Company, had something a little bit more substantial on offer recently. The company, which operates 3 train lines in the Kanagawa Prefecture south of Tokyo, put out an announcement asking if anyone would be interested in purchasing an automated station ticket gate. Actually, they're offering 2 Omron PGR series ticket gates, since each panel is designed to be able to accept tickets and cashless payments taps by itself. However, Sotetsu cautioned prospective buyers that they would need to purchase both gates to recreate the sort of 2-sided aisle that passengers pass through on their way in and out of the station. Alright. As you can see, from the photo that was posted, they open up the panels on it, and these are very sophisticated machines, and they don't come cheap. They're priced at 200,000 yen, which is about $1,335. It will run you about 400,000 yen for the set. They also added a set of wheels to the bottom of each unit so that if you buy it, you can move them around and make them position however works for you. Despite the price, Sotetsu received multiple offers to buy the gates during the application period between November 14th to the 24th. At least 7 people have said they're willing to pony up the cash for at least one of the gates, so now the purchaser or purchasers will be chosen by random lottery. We don't know who won this lottery, but Sotetsu's ticket gate renovation plan is scheduled to continue until the spring of 2027, and this probably won't be the last decommissioned set that will go on sale. And that reminds me of something that was just a friend of mine posted on Facebook earlier about the Omni tap cards, how much they don't work. And I have to somewhat agree with her. There have been times I have gone on the train, on the buses, or on the subway and tapped. Most of the times it will register. Sometimes it will not. And it'll just say come and go, or error. Now, in Japan, the taps, you still tap, but there's no glass guard covering where you need to tap. There is a spot where you're supposed to tap, and then it lights up how much is on your tap card, and then you go. And when you tap again to leave, it tells you how much it took and how much is left. And that works. And I think that's what the MTA needs to do. Instead of having it behind some type of glass like that, just actually keep it in a glass for like information, but have like a physical tap sensor. Just tap whatever, and then be like, you're able to get on. This is how much you have on your card, and this is how many rides you have this week before they're free. And I understand they didn't put that on there because they figured New Yorkers want to just tap and go. Slow it down. I don't think that's going to be that big of an issue. Bonzo06 says, I started using the tap card yesterday and I already don't like it. Well, I will tell you this. If you take the path, they're using tap cards. New Jersey Transit is still using tickets, but you can tap with your credit debit card. Philly is a tap system. You're either waving your phone, or you're tapping with your debit card, or you're getting a debit key card from them to tap. Boston is tap system. Chicago's a tap system. I just think that when you see it work properly, you'll like it more. I mean, I love the fact that I can, when I was in Japan, going to the turnstile, tapping, opens right up, walk right through. Up, pay my ride, whatever. I'm about to go back. I'm here where I need to be. Tap again. How much is taken off? How much is left? Walk right through. Simple, easy. And when you refill the money, you just go to the machine. You put your tap card in this space, and it just flips a different color. It tells you how much. Put your money in. Reload. Done. So I like what we have here for the most part, but it could be a hell of a lot better. So I don't have a choice. We are a captured audience. I created an account, linked the card to keep tabs on my funds on my. That's what I did. Through work, they gave us a separate debit card for that, and I said no. I changed it so that whatever money hits that debit card hits directly to my tap card instead. So I can log in and see what's up. The only thing that sucks is I can't see where I've tapped previously. I have to call them and find out. I'm like, hurry up and get that shit updated. All right. Enough about that. I'm done foaming at the mouth about the dilapidity of the New York City subway system and how things are going and so forth. So I think it's time for us to transform and roll out and get the hell up on out of here. What do you say?
Agreed.
All right. So if you like tonight's show, tell a friend. They in turn will tell another friend, and so on and so forth. We're independent bloggers, independent podcasters. What we like and don't like, we're going to tell you straight up. If you have any questions about the show, drop us a line at podcast@animejamsession.com. Again, that is podcast@animejamsession.com. We're here to believe you. Please check out our website at animejamsession.com. On our site, you'll find not just our weekly podcast, you will find editorials, anime reviews, cosplay tips and tricks, cosplay reviews, convention reports, all that and a lot more at animejamsession.com. And if you like the podcast, please subscribe to our podcast. Our podcast is available on any podcasting app. If your app doesn't have us, let us know and I'll get it on there for you. And for those of you who have subscribed, thank you so much for the love and support. Social media. Please follow us on our social media pages. It's Anime Jam Session on Blue Sky, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube. And to those of you who follow us on our social media pages, thank you so much for your love and support. We really appreciate that. And our tip jar down below. If you're live, you can go ahead and click on our Streamlabs, Stream Elements, or Ko-Fi if you want to just send money to us directly. We really appreciate that. You can also cheer us on with bits. You can also sub to the channel and give out gift subs. Every little bit goes a long way, and we really appreciate your love and support on that. Okay, let's see, what else do we have here? Last words. All right, I'm kicking it over to Mako-chan for last words.
I am so tired.
My last
yeah.
My last words. If I know it's gonna be like this, I would be like, no show tonight. We'll just pick it up next week. But anywho, that is it. End of list. We're getting out of here. We'll be back next week and have our last couple of shows. So it's it and that's that. So I'm Ranma.
And I'm Mako-chan.
Great fight, great night. See you next week.
Good night.
Well, you got Churi real quick. Say goodnight, Mako-chan.
Good night, Mako-chan.
Perfect. Awesome. We're getting out of here. See you all next week.
This podcast has been a production of Anime Jam Session and AJS Productions. No fanboys and fangirls were hurt, maimed, shot, electrocuted, or pistol whipped in this episode. For now. The views, opinions, and thoughts expressed on this show do not reflect the staff or the network as a whole. But we're still right, damn it. For transcripts of this episode, start typing. Check us out at animejamsession.com and vognetwork.com for more information about us and other programming. Jamatane!